pretty much the perfect away day, really, Matt. I mean, what's your assessment?
Oh, it was a good performance, probably a complete performance from a collective unit, wanting to do the right things today. Goals always change games, and we had to wait a little bit for the one in the first half, but then that one at just after half time gave us a real boost and put the opposition on the back foot, and then we were able to back it with a couple more. So it was comfortable towards the end, and that's no disrespect to Scunthorpe, but we'd made it comfortable.
Giovanni Brown returned to the side. He had a pretty fantastic game, didn't he? Instrumental in the first 3 goals.
Yeah, look, I mean, let's be honest, we've not been able to partner Giovanni and Sam together too often this season, if yet, in terms of actual a centre-forward partnership. So that's what we've always been working towards. So I was pleased to get him back in the fold today in relation to that. So it's important we get our attacking players fit and firing and share the goals out, but also have a threat about us. And MJ's always going to put the ball in the back of the net, because if the chance falls to me, he's our best finisher. But we have got to share those goals out throughout the rest of the team, and that's why to see other people contribute is fantastic.
And Sam Nombe himself, I mean, he didn't score today, but he just offers so much more, doesn't he?
He does. Look, another 90 minutes for himself, another positive 90 minutes as well, and we believe Sam's going to keep on improving. And when he does start scoring, which he will do, we've got a hell of a player on the hands. But he was excellent. He led the line today, and he's a foil for our other players. You get the best out of MJ if Sam Nombe is on the pitch. You get the best out of Giovanni if Sam Nombe is on the pitch. So we've got to understand where we're trying to get to as a team. We're nowhere near there as yet, but I was pleased because stood here, I felt like we had a stronger bench behind me, a stronger collective unit. I've started to leave players out of the squad for the first time this season, and good players at that, and that's no disrespect to previous members of the squad. So we've got another game on Wednesday night, and hopefully Archie Collins gets some game time in terms of that, and we know what we're moving towards, but our mindset was improved today. Jake Caprice wanted to just run at the opposition wing back or full back, and so did Josh Key. So some really strong positive performances.
The word on Josh Key as well. I mean, he's really discovered his form again, hasn't he? And he started adding goals to his game as well, because that can only be beneficial to the side.
There's a reason why I was so desperate to keep hold of Josh Key, because he's a good player for Exeter City, but we feel there's an awful lot of improvements there still to be made. His bandwidth's incredible. He's athletic. He can score. He can defend. He's a complete package, but he's not there yet. He'll get there. He'll get there with more experience and more game time. So we're desperate. Me personally, I was desperate to keep him, because I feel there's an awful lot more to come for Josh, for us, and for when and if he does move on.
Just signalling out one more. I mean, Tim Dieng may go under the radar a little bit, but he offers so much, doesn't he, in that middle of the park? And he's first to put a tackle in. He likes to move the ball.
He's physical. He's a good size. He covers the ground well. He's got a goal threat about him. He's outstanding in both boxes. And you want goal-scoring midfielders, but you want goal-scoring midfielders who can defend set pieces as well. So, it was important he got 90 minutes. That's his first 90 minutes this season. So he's still not fully there as yet. So, due to whatever reason, we're 6 or 7 games in yet, and we're still finding our right rhythm, if that makes sense. Sounds strange when you've won a game, but that's what we're still working towards, and we won't still find it for the next few weeks. But we've got a plan, and you've got you have something in your mind as a manager when you start putting a team together, and that was closer to what I wanted to get to.
And as you mentioned just now, I mean, the bench looks so much stronger today. How vital is it to have options like Kyle and Ben to come in off the bench?
Absolutely huge, and the only reason Aurora didn't come on because he's had a bit of a knock and he's not trained all week, so it would have been a risk, and it wasn't worth risking him. We were able to look after Giovanni and MJ. It's going to be a long slog this season. Harry Kite learning off the back of 2 bookings in quick succession at Harrogate, and then almost a needless one today, so there was no point putting him at risk in relation to that second booking and giving the opposition a back into the game. So I feel certain aspects of the group are getting closer to where I need to be, and I keep on using that phrase, but it's important because you look at the group running now, that's a good group, and you've got a half-decent squad if the group running at the end of the game aren't a bad bunch of players.
And with Archie coming back, it's going to give you probably a welcome selection headache, isn't it?
That's what you want. That's what you want. That's what you plan at the start of the season. When you write the names on the board at the start of the season, you think, if that group's fit, then I'm going to have complications, I'm going to have problems, and I want people banging on my door. They'll bang on the door in the right way by training well and performing well. That's the best way to do it. But that's what you want as a manager, and we've not always had it. We've certainly not had it so far this season, but now's the time to start putting some strength and depth to it. But that's the group of players we spoke about. I want to talk about Dan Feasy as well. I know you sort of saw the scenes at the end, and that wasn't staged in any way. That was an appreciation from the players and staff about what a member of staff he's been, for myself, for the club, sports therapist. I'm working in the medical department and helping out with a kit as well. Over the last 2 years in unprecedented times has been inspirational. What a fantastic character, and we're only losing him to further education. So hopefully, if I'm still here in a couple of years' time, he'll come back as a fully qualified physio and help Gaz out in terms of that medical department, because he's been an inspiration, not just for me but for the rest of the group. And we've got a lot of unsung heroes at this football club, and he had his little moment there, and you know yourself as well as I do that there's a lot of people at the stadium who don't get the credit they deserve. It's very much like the performance today, very much a collective, and everyone's as important as each other. No more or less important than anyone. We might be in the public eye more than most, but no more important than anyone else at this football club, and that's a message not only to Dan today but to all our staff back at the stadium as well.
I think it says a lot about the staff at the club as well. You know, everyone I know at the club loves working for the club. They do it for a reason.
Have to, don't you? You have to care, you're passionate. That's why it hurts even more when you get beat, because everyone cares about this football club, and there's a meaning behind it, and most of all a feeling behind it, and you could just feel that moment towards the end, and to do it in front of those supporters was fantastic, because they're the ones on top of it who not only own our football club but they back us through thick and thin, and we want to repay them and reward them with good performances, but also the staff need some sort of exposure every now and then. I know we've got a little social next Friday, and we're going to enjoy that.
And just back to the game, just a word on the defence as well. I mean, they weren't overly tested, but when they did, they were stood firm, and it was another clean sheet. Yeah,
look, you know, I'll always ask for more. I'm so picky in relation to centre halves and goalkeepers' performances about doing the right things and being the best defender first and foremost, and the mindset as a defender is absolutely key, and there's no reason why George, Pearce, Alex and Cam in that unit can't be the best defenders on the pitch first and foremost, and everything else comes on top of that. And I still want Josh Key to concentrate on defending, and everything else a bonus in attack, and Jake Caprice as well. So we looked like we were physical today, and when I say physical, we're not 6'5" monsters, but we can cover the ground, and that's a big aspect in football.
Just finally as well, you mentioned it there, but I mean, how good was that away end today?
Oh, well, let's, you know, what were they singing at one stage? Oh, must you be if we're winning away? I don't think it's been that long since we won away. Was it Bolton, second to last game of the season? Look, we were poor first half at Leyton Orient, no one can deny that, and then it was such a tough encounter up at Barrow, and then, you know, due to whatever reason, the 10-minute at Harrogate, you'd have took that, and that was a good performance. So you put it into context, you know, you want to win games of football, and we've got a home game next week where hopefully they'll come back again, plus the rest of our home fans, and that's another opportunity.
Thank you, Matt.